What's up, guys? Paul Wolf. We're back out here at the Can-Am after Havasu. So Havasu was really awesome. Had a lot of great pit guys there helping me this time. It was really great. Mitch was there. Wolford, he came out just to help us. Of course, we had Robert with us and Chris, the normal crew. We had a couple extra guys. Garrett, he's from California out that way. He stopped by and helped us pit it up in Pennsylvania and out here. And then we had Jared, another crew, and they come over, some of Rockhold's guys come over and helped us out. So really appreciate everybody helping us with everything. We'll roll right into it. We went out and pre-ran. Really thought we were going to race a desert car out of Havasu. I've never been there before, so I actually took my 2-seat car and the single-seat car with me. In intentions of running the 2-seat car, just because that car has a little different shock package and it does better in big, deep whoops and rhythms. We got out there and realized that the terrain wasn't nearly as rough as we expected. As far as that type of terrain, it was a lot of zigzag, a lot of turny stuff. So the single seat car does a lot better in that, being it's a little bit lighter. The center of gravity is a little lower in the car, the way I position things, and I didn't have to swallow the big whoops. So this car ended up being the car I chose to race there. We come out in qualified on the pole, so I was really happy with that. Car worked perfect, everything went great, everything in the car held up phenomenally. We ended up, the way it actually worked out in racing is I had to qualify the 44 car. For those of you who don't know, I had some issues with qualifying. We had a guy roll over during our qualifying run in the 44. So I had to rerun at the very end again, which the way it works in our racing is we qualify 44 last, and then we start racing UTVs immediately afterwards. So putting me to the end of the 44 qualifying, or close to the end, by the time I finished that, got it back to pit, got out of it, got all my stuff, got some water to get ready for a 2-hour race in the UTVs, got into this car, got up to starting line, they already left the line, so I actually had to leave 3rd or 4th, which, you know, is part of racing. Wasn't real happy about it, but, you know, it is what it is. It happens when you race multiple cars. So we went right into it, jumped in. I think I ended up 3rd, where I ended up leaving the line at, and was able to run down 2nd place fairly quickly, got around Travis pretty fast, got to Cole, and in the process of getting around them guys, I ended up hurting the belt in the car really bad. I put it in, I was trying to run the gas and brake and do some stuff to make a move on Travis to close the gap on him because of the dust, and he was probably had his headphones in jamming or something, couldn't hear me, so he didn't hear my horn, so I actually had to bump him pretty good. Hopefully we got that on GoPro, because I gave him a little love tap there. And as soon as I did, he let me right by. Picked it up again, ended up having an issue with the clutches, the belt in the car, so I had to get out, fix that. I fell back a couple positions, got it fixed, got back going again, was actually able to run all the way back down a second time, and got back to Travis again. And this time we're going into the 2nd lap in the car, so I stopped and got fuel at the pit and everything, because I run a stock tank in the car, so I can only make 1 lap per tank of fuel. So I got fuel in the car, took off again, caught them, ran them back down, was doing really well. And then I'm gonna have you guys step around back here, and I'm gonna show you a little bit about what happened. So the way I set this car up is I have hydraulic steering on the car, I have the reservoir up here, and I have these bolts that hold the reservoir bar on and everything. Well, my tire sits in here also, and they run a strap up here, and they strap to this. Haven't had an issue out of it all year, but for whatever reason, it pulled these bolts out of the frame right here, and it actually popped that bar loose, and it fell down, and it kinked the reservoir line feeding the pump. And the tire was still in here, and everything was sealed up, and I didn't realize what had happened in the car. I thought I lost the steering pump, which ended up being incorrect. The steering pump works fine, as long as it has fluid. So after the race, I actually pulled the tire off to get ready to load everything up, realized that the bar just fell down just enough that it kinked this line, and it was still sitting in there, wasn't leaking any oil or nothing, but just kinked the feed line to the pump, which shut the steering off, and I thought I had lost the pump, and so I pulled out of the race because I thought I broke the steering pump. Ended up not being the case. So I'm definitely gonna put some bigger bolts in this and make this a little more durable, being that yeah, somehow we broke that. So we'll get it fixed for the next round and come back stronger. But I was really happy, kind of the end of the year thing for the UTVs. We had a tough year. Just starting the hammers right out of the gate, we had a major shock failure with a company we were using. So I switched shock companies in the middle of the year, which is really not a good thing to do when you are racing a busy schedule, because it takes all of the time you spent testing prior to the year and it throws it out the window because it's all irrelevant at that point. And you have to start from scratch, and that ended up being, for us, we had to start from scratch at a race. So we are literally starting with a whole new shock program at every race. And now we're working towards the end of the year. Everybody can see the improvements. We went from, you know, qualifying okay to now we qualifying on the pole. We've won races. We're finishing fastest laps. So we're actually got a very, very competitive car. Crandon, we won races. Disney, we won races. You know, Havasu, we qualified on the pole, got all the way to the lead in the car, had some odd failures. So we definitely proved that we got the shocks figured out in the car. We got the car working much better, and everything's coming together. So really excited, because now I get to actually test and not test at a race scenario. I get to do true off-season testing with the cars. So I feel very confident going into 2024. Really happy with Wayne at Alltech. He's got us set up extremely well now. Definitely looking forward to new and exciting things. And like I said, them are our last 3 races of the year, so we really showed we had great speed and that we got this thing coming around and where it needs to be. So looking forward to 2024 with Can-Am.
Doofy dog.